Hi friends and thanks for being here. Today I want to take you on a trip to create some stunning one-layer cards. Let's get started. I just got this stamp and die set and I was looking at these dies thinking, I really need to play with these. I thought these flower dies would just be beautiful. And the way I decided to use them, you're going to see here in just a moment. So what I did was I took the entire die set, I cut all of them out of a piece of cardstock, laid them upside down, and I used some of my multi-purpose glue that I use all the time for everything. And I put it on the back. If I hold this up close, you may be able to see some of that glue on the back. Put some of that on the back. I didn't cover all of it, just bits and pieces around. Let them sit out for a while until that glue was dry. So what am I doing? Creating some masks. I'm making these so that I can apply them to my project, but then I can remove them back off. Anytime you use this glue to make removable adhesive, you want to keep in mind that it may be a little bit too sticky. It may damage your card when you pull it back off. So I always take those pieces, put them against my clothes to pick up a little bit of lint, and that should make them just sticky enough to stay on the card, but not so sticky that they will tear when they come off. So here's what I'm going to do. You're going to see the rest of the die cuts here in a few moments, but I'm going to bring in a card base. We are going to apply these to the card. We'll put one here. We'll put this other one down here. We'll put a little bit of a gap between the two. And then this set has several tag dies. I thought it would be fun. You're going to see I even used those a little bit. So we'll put that on right here. Now, what are we going to do? You might be able to guess. I am going to bring in my blending brushes. We are going to blend some color over the top of this. So I've already done 3 of these. This is going to be the 4th one, and I'm really excited for you to get to see the results when I remove the masks and we get to see the magic of the blending revealed. So for this one, there's so many different patterns you can use for blending. And if you're new to blending brushes, I'll share some tips as we go through here. But so many different patterns. I'm looking at this design in front of me and I'm thinking of several ways I could do this. I could start in the center like I just did with this, start in the center of each panel and go dark in the center and lighter as I move outwards. I could start on the edges of the card with darker ink and I could move in to make it lighter in the center. You're going to see several of these that I use multiple colors of ink on. It's just a lot of different ways we could do this. We could blend one color into another color. But we are going to try this, make it a little bit darker in the center and get lighter as we blend out. Now you may have seen, I used a circular pattern just like what I'm doing right now to pick up the ink from my ink pad. You want to give it a little bit of pressure and move the brush in circles to pick up some of that ink. Then you want to touch your brush to your scrap paper and swirl it a few times in case you have any extra ink on there. You don't want to get those darker spots on your project if possible. And so if you do this, put that extra ink on your scrap paper, then you should avoid those darker areas. Now, I will say this ink pad right here is getting a bit low on ink. I do need to re-ink it, so I'm having to apply, press a little harder, do this a little more than if I had just inked my ink pad, but let's apply a little bit more here. And then we get to do the fun part. We are going to do the reveal. So I would love to know, my question of today's video is, tell me about your experience with blending brushes. I would love to know, do you use blending brushes? Do you not use blending brushes? Do you like them? Are you frustrated by them? If you have any struggles with them or anything I might be able to help with, tell me about that in the comments. That will help me to make future videos. So now we are just going to lift up on these masks carefully. And I just love this part. Reveal that cardstock below that has no color and the beautiful color of the blending around where that die cut was. So the reason I use the little tag is because we are going to stamp a greeting in there. We are truly making one layer cards. We are not even going to add a popped up greeting to these. They will be one layer and one layer only. So we'll remove these and then let's bring in these others. I want to show them to you. Isn't that neat? I thought you could do one of these just with a single panel, but I thought the two panels looked neat as well. So I wanted to try that. Let's bring in the other ones that I have created. Here is one that I used 3 colors of ink. So this was Berry Burst on this card. On this card, I used Berry Burst in the center, and on the top, I used Timid Tiger. On the bottom, I used Azure Afternoon. These masks, these die cuts, when you peel them off, you can definitely keep these and reuse them in the future. So if you need a way to store them that they aren't sticking to each other or sticking to other things, you can put them on a bit of wax paper. That can be helpful. But for this one, I thought it would be fun to blend several colors into each other. Isn't that neat? Okay, let's look at the next one. This one I just used Timid Tiger on it, but we are going to add another color of ink here in just a moment. So I put several die cuts together. I used, here's a leaf one. These cut out separately, so I put it together with the flower and some of these smaller flowers also. So we'll remove these. And then, like I said, I want to change this one a little bit. We are going to add another color. I wanted to give you several ideas for how to use several colors if you want to, but you can keep these so simple just with one color, and they turn out just amazingly just like that. I don't know about you. I love neutral colors. I love tans and grays and browns. And I thought about doing one of these in Crumb Cake, which is quite possibly one of my most used colors, but I didn't. But I think these would be beautiful with neutral colors as well. Okay, that's what we have so far. Last but not least, are you ready for this one? For this one, I used my small blending brushes because they take up a little bit smaller space and it would be better for these detailed areas. And I applied the same colors I've already mentioned, but I applied them to I used Old Olive on the leaves. I used Daffodil Delight in the centers of the flowers, and then that Berry Burst on the flowers and Timid Tiger on the berries. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Okay, let's apply a little bit of more color to this one right here, and then we will finish them up with some greetings and see how they come together. So for this one, what I wanted to do was apply some Old Olive ink with my small blending brush just to the areas where the leaves were. So I'm going to leave this so that the flowers appear white, but in the areas where the leaves are, I'm just going to apply a little bit of that green. Now, of course, I can't get this perfectly into the leaves because the blending brush is round. But if I just apply a little bit of pressure there where the leaves are, get a little bit of that green in there, that is the look I am going for. So apply that to where all the leaves are. We'll have those white flowers left behind, and I thought that would be a really neat look for this card. So I'm finishing this up. We will stamp some greetings now. So there you can see just a hint of color on the leaves with the white flowers. Let's bring in my greeting stamps. So here's the stamp set that coordinates with this. I'm not using any of the stamps today besides the greetings, but I love that these stamps coordinate with the dies. I had a stamp set several years ago very similar to this. and made stunning, stunning cards with it. What's so fun is that you can stamp the outline and then fill it in with the second stamp and just get some beautiful images. These are designed to look realistic just with that one outline stamp and the one fill-in stamp. And I can't wait to create with it a bit more. Okay, let's look at what we have here. Get organized. I have several. Can I fit all these on here? So I want to take this long one. Is this going? Yes, this stamp says "So happy for you." I am going to stamp that with my Berry Burst ink, since Berry Burst is the majority of the color here in the center. But I thought it would be fun to use these tags, even though we're still doing one layer. It looks like one tag. It looks like a tag on there, and stamp the greetings in the center. So there's that one. We'll do a small greeting right here on this one. So my options are hello and just a note. Let's do hello. We'll stamp that one with Berry Burst as well. And then on these two, the two greetings I have not used yet, we have "It's Your Day" and just a note. Let's do "It's Your Day" on the Timid Tiger card. And just a note, we'll do with the Azure Afternoon. And here you can see these one layer cards that we've created just with a few die cuts, a little bit of glue, some blending brushes, and ink. I never cease to be amazed at what I can create with just ink and white cardstock. It's so amazing. And I want you to have that feeling too. So you'll have to try these cards out. Question for you. Are you signed up for my email list? There's always a link down there in the video description below where you can sign up for that. I want you to know when there's special happenings going on, sales on products. I have card classes in the mail available, all kinds of fun things. Make sure you sign up for that. There's links to the products down there as well if you're interested in anything I shared today or in my other videos. What are we going to talk about for the daily chat? I couldn't remember. I had to look at I try to make little notes of ideas and my laptop. So several months ago, last summer, we're having all kinds of problems. Our house flooded. I've mentioned that several times. All these things were going on. I was struggling in life. And I had just made several videos. So you can probably imagine when you see the materials I've prepared and things, to prepare the materials for a video and then to record them takes an investment of time. It's not like 20 minutes to make a video, okay? It takes an investment of time. So I just recorded several videos. They were living on my laptop. I had not backed my laptop up because I'm a disorganized human. Someday I'm going to get organized and we'll do all of these things. But they were only on the computer, and a day or two later, I go to turn the laptop on. It won't turn on. I plug it in to charge it. I leave it forever. It's not working. It won't come on. I plug it into a different outlet. I make sure I'm using both of the charging ports on my laptop in case something is wrong with one of them. Long story short, the laptop will not come on. And I'm at a place in life where you ever have anything happen that could lead you down the crazy train? Like, I could go over the ledge right now. This is one of those things that if I allowed myself, I could have. Yeah, that was not what I needed at this time, was to have to remake these videos. So here's what I did. I have learned as I have started reading my Bible more and praying more and just learning more from other believers, and done praying and fasting and learned about spiritual warfare and all these things going on. Like, I've just grown a lot in how I handle things in life. So here's what I did. I'm like, okay, God, I believe you want me to be doing this. I'm sharing at the end of my videos, like, I think you want me to be doing. That wasn't really my idea. I don't have the capacity to remake these videos at this point in time. So I am trusting that you are going to figure this out. So here's the thing. Sometimes we get really involved in controlling and fixing things. Really involved. I know, like, as soon as something goes wrong, it is not unusual for me to be headed 100 miles an hour down the path to fixing it and making it right. So I don't know how to fix this. And I decided this, like, okay, I am going to not touch that computer for several days. I think it was 2 or 3 days. Not going to touch it. I am going to pray about it. I'm going to be honest. I prayed over my computer several times. I rebuked the enemy. The spiritual warfare thing is no joke. And I am learning better ways to use the power I've been given to try to fight back against these things. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to touch it for a couple of days. I'm going to trust that you are going to do something. And at some point during these couple of days while I'm praying and taking a break and just trusting that's going to be fine, I decided, like, okay, if it doesn't come on Monday morning or whenever it was, I was going to go back and revisit the computer. Then I will take it to the computer store. We'll see if they can get it started back up. That's what we're going to do. I am not kidding. After the break for a couple of days, I think I prayed over it one more time. I plugged the thing into the wall, and the little charging thing goes across the screen exactly how it is supposed to every time. I plugged it into all kinds of different outlets. I left it forever. I used both of them. I did all the things. It didn't work. And after I prayed, took a breath and let it out of my control for a few days and prayed some more, it just came back on, and it's been perfectly fine since then. There's a lot of strange things that have happened that don't seem like coincidences, but I just thought I would share that with you today. The next time you're ready to, like, go over the edge and something is like you want to fix it and you want to fix it now, sometimes what we need to do is take a step back and let God work for us. Thanks for being here, friend. I hope you'll be back again next time when I'll be here helping you to hand make with love.